Hello there, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I hope that you are able to do that. I can see there's some talk going on in the chat. Hello, Lazar. Hello, Yatsa. Hello, Radosov. We have a new name in the chat. I don't quite recall you joining in the past, but I can see you're asking how everyone is doing. I guess that question is for me too, so I can tell you I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing fine as well. And I see Lazar has already explained that we are both from Serbia and you are from Poland. Do I know anything in Polish? I can't quite say anything. I know that yes is tak, right? When you want to say yes, you say tak. I know the capital city is Warsaw. And do I know anything else about Poland? Oh, yes, I know how to say thank you. It's dziękuję, right? Dziękuję. Please tell me if I've massacred the pronunciation or not. I hope I didn't. Magdalena, welcome to the stream. Are you ready to show your knowledge today? Yes, a lovely granny indeed. Last time when we were talking about whose picture to use for the student, some people suggested my granny, so I said, why not use this nice restaurant picture from our previous experience? And folks, today's quiz will be based on that video alongside some other topics that we've covered previously, such as the adjective order, the conditionals that we all love, the difference between tell and say, and so on. Those of you who have joined in the past will know what I'm talking about. Great, everything is perfect. Thank you so much. I'm trying my best. I believe this is your first stream, Radosov, so this is one of the sessions where we revise everything covered in the previous streams. So I hope you enjoy your time here. The goal is to have fun, play a nice game, and learn some things along the way if there are any mistakes. So please don't feel shy to write the answers once we start with the game. I'll just post this on my Instagram profile, let everyone know that we are live. A smile for Instagram, and then we will start our game. How's the weather in Mexico and Poland? I'd expect it to be quite different, right? I'd expect Poland to be a bit chilly, not very sunny, and then Mexico obviously to be scorching at this time of the year. But that might not be the case, so please let me know if I got it right or not. Okay, post this on my story. Say, come join the quiz and a question mark. There we go. It's live. Folks in the chat, please tell me if you're ready to start. And if you are, we shall begin. We don't have hot wave. Oh, so you're not struggling with any heat. Maybe that's the case in Mexico, but in Poland, you don't have to worry about it. I hope you're happy about that, Radosov. Are you a fan of heat or do you like the moderate temperatures? Let me know. I personally am not the biggest fan of heat. It is overcast. All right, so a bit of clouds over there. Not a hot day in Mexico either, which means both of you are in perfect shape for this quiz. So Magdalena and Radosov, are you ready to start? Just tell me yes in the chat and we shall begin. Oh, I might play some music in the background just to make it a bit more enjoyable. Or will there be music from, yeah, there will be music from the stream itself. So I might as well leave it that way. 22 degrees, I like hot weather. Okay, not quite hot. It could be better. It could be better. You could use some 27, 28 degrees, I'm sure. You're ready, Radosov? What about you, Magdalena? Yes, you are. So, folks, let us begin. Let the games begin. So, uh, start play. Oh, just to make sure that the music is not too loud, let me turn it down a bit. So when we reduce the volume, we are turning it down. Okay, that's done. Now we can start. I don't really like sweet snacks. What? I don't think this is the correct one, guys. Wait a second. Wait a second. I think I might have opened the wrong one. Ah, now we're talking. Okay. This is the one we need. Sorry about that, folks. I was confused for a moment. I remember that question from the previous revision. Okay, scrape that. Scrape that means throw it into the trash, and let's restart. Question number 1. I was blank the bus when I saw my friend walking down the street. And the potential answers are at, in, by, on. What is the correct preposition to use here? We had a lesson on prepositions with means of transportation. So let's see which is the correct one here. Radosov has said on. Makes a lot of sense. Does Magdalena agree or disagree with this? I say that Magdalena will probably agree with it. Where did you learn English, Radosov? I'm curious to know that. You are a new face here, so I will be asking many questions. Get ready for it. On, everybody says D, folks. I'm proud of you. So far, so good. On the bus. So when you can move around a vehicle, we usually use on for it. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. It's a challenging topic when it comes to English learning. But the simplest way to remember is, if you can stand up and move around, it's on. Since it is a long journey, it is much faster to go by plane, on plane, in a plane, by a plane. Let's see what the correct answer is here. I have a tutor. I love my Slavic brothers. We don't use any articles. But in English, it has to be a tutor because the word tutor is countable and it's in singular form here. So a tutor on Preply. Got it? Is your tutor a native speaker or from another country? Magdalena says A. Radosov says A. Radosov, I think your tutor is doing a pretty good job. So the answer is going to be A, biplane. The reason why is because when we use by to express the way we arrived somewhere, we are not going to use the article in front of the noun. So while it should be on a bus, on a plane, when we explain how we got somewhere, we are not going to use it. We are going to omit the article. So I came here by bike or I went there by bus. So biplane is the correct answer. Let's move on to number 3. Even with by. You are shocked, Felipe. I can understand. So as I said, when we explain how we got somewhere, we use by. So it is a bit different from the other ones. When we say I'm on a bus or I'm on a plane, we are simply stating our location. But when we talk about the mean of transportation, the way we got somewhere, we're going to say by plus the name of the vehicle. We had to wait for 20 minutes before we could get blank the taxi, on the taxi, in the taxi, by the taxi, at the taxi. Let's see what the correct answer is. Again, Radosov is the first one to answer, and he says a B. Magdalena agrees with him and says it is B. Does anybody think it could be C, D, A? Anything else but B? Do we have any other voices in the chat? Perhaps not. Perhaps everybody agrees that it is B. Let's check. Maybe you were in the wrong. No, you weren't. It is in the taxi. So taxi is simply another form of public transportation, but in the form of a car. So since you can't move around a car, naturally it is going to be in a taxi, in a car, in a taxi. Can you blank me the truth about what happened yesterday? Last time we did this quiz, there were some issues with similar questions, so pay attention. A, speak. B, talk. C, tell. D, say. What could be the correct answer here, guys? Remember, we spoke volumes about this. We can't use one verb when there is an object following it, and there is another verb that always needs an object to follow it. Felipe is coming in strong, being the first one to answer, and he says C. Now, Radosov agrees with him. Magdalena agrees as well. I'm still waiting for someone to give me a different answer. All three of you seem to be on the same page. You all agree. Yatsa says A. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a different answer. Are you correct, though? Tell. So Dayan was right to go with C in the end. Great job. Tell me the truth. After the verb tell, there needs to be an object. Question 5. She didn't blank goodbye before she left the party. Now, what didn't she do? She didn't say, she didn't tell, she didn't speak, or she didn't talk goodbye. What did this lady fail to do? Do we tell goodbye, speak goodbye, say goodbye, talk goodbye? What's the question here? Again, Felipe was the first one to answer, and he said A, same as Radosov and Magdalena. Great job, folks. You are on fire. We say goodbye. So there are some collocations in English that will combine words like tell, say, speak with different nouns. In the case of lies, for example, we always tell lies. We never speak lies. But if we, for example, speak the truth, and here we have the teacher blank to the students to open their books to page 42. Now, did the teacher say that, speak that, tell that, or talk that? All of them in the past, mind you. To the students. What could be the answer here? This might be the trickiest one so far, so pay close attention. Felipe once again says A, Magdalena says A, and Radosov says B. Oh, finally, we have some disagreement in this big three. Okay. What is your explanation, guys? Radosov, why is it B? Magdalena and Felipe, why is it A? Let's have a nice little discussion in the chat before I reveal the answer, because that's the best way to learn. Why do you think it is B, and why do you think it is A? Yatsa says B, Dan says A. Guys, let's see why you believe that. Are you just making some lucky guesses. Maybe so far you've just gotten really lucky. Maybe that's the reason. Let's see if you guys can prove your knowledge here. Explain to me why your answer is the correct one. Radosov now says it should be A. Why did you change your answer then? Explain us that. Why is it A? It is present simple. Oh, present simple? As we don't have any present simple here. All of them are in the past simple tense. To open is an infinitive, and the other ones are simply the past simple tense. Say is general and used to speak to someone particular. Past simple, that's better. Say is general and used to speak to someone particular. Okay, yes, that's right. We can speak to someone as well, but here we have the information that was passed on. So if we had a sentence, the teacher blank to the students, full stop, then spoke would have been the correct answer. Because the teacher spoke to the students means the teacher had a conversation with the students. But in this case, we have additional information of what was said to those students. That's why A said is the correct answer. Like Felipe said, when we use the preposition to add the object, the person who receives the information, then say is the only correct option. If there was no to preposition, then we could have said the teacher told the students to open their books to page 42. Those are the reasons why. Speak is 1-to-1, I think. Like I said, it is not about whether it's one-on-one or any other complex reasoning. The context is what matters, what the exact word means. When you speak, you are having a conversation. That's it. We don't add any information in particular. We can say we spoke about and then explain what the topic of the conversation was. But then about is another preposition that we need to use. Here we don't have any additional prepositions. We just have the teacher said something to the students. He said to the students to open their books to page 42. So I hope that is clear, folks. If you do have any additional questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. Number 7, she bought a blank table for her new dining room. Now, this is a tricky one. It's a tricky one because the adjective order is something that you are mostly not taught in schools, and the native speakers just know it by heart. They just don't learn this. They have this inner feeling for what is right. But there is a particular adjective order that we need to follow. So the options are beautiful round wooden, round beautiful wooden, wooden round beautiful, and wooden beautiful round. I think all this just makes your head feel like that woman in the math meme with all those formula around her head. That's how all of these sound. Katie says A. Radosov says A. Let's see if the other folks have anything to add. Maybe Felipe thinks something different is correct. Katie, welcome, Katie. And Katie says A2. Okay, Katie, how are you feeling today? And where do you come from, Katie? Sorry if I asked you that before, but We have people here from Poland, from Chile, Mexico, Italy, Serbia, Turkey. Maybe we have a new country joining. I don't know, maybe C, wooden, round, beautiful. Magdalena says A and Yatsa says B. Diane says A too. A is the most dominant option. Let's see who was right. Yes. And Magdalena has given us a great explanation. It is A because it starts with the opinion. So when we talk about the adjective order, the most important thing to remember, and the easiest one to remember, is that opinions will come before facts. So here, round means it looks like a circle. It is not, there is no sharp edge. It is round. And wooden means it is made of wood. So it is not something that was created with the use of plastic. And those are facts. But beautiful is an opinion. I might consider something beautiful, and Radosov might think it is absolutely ugly. So when there is an adjective which describes an opinion, it will always come before the adjectives that describe facts, the physical features of something. I come from Macau. Wow, that is so cool. I've never had a student from Macau. I've had students from China, but not from Macau specifically. What time is it in Macau now? It must be very early, or rather very late. You're definitely at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm sure. I didn't know that good tip. Perfect, Felipe. That's why we're here. Like we said, it's all about practicing. Move on to question 8. He was wearing a blank jacket. Let's do the same again. Nice old leather. Leather nice old. Old nice leather. Or nice leather old. Okay, if you follow the tip I just gave you, you should be able to eliminate 2 of them right off the bat, immediately. Let's see if you folks can get it right. Radosov says A. Others are still thinking. Very late in Macau now, but I'm living in Belfast. Oh, that explains it. That makes a lot of sense. Felipe says A. Magdalena says A. Everybody believes that it is A, same as Dayan. And Felipe has a question. If there are more adjectives that give an opinion, does the order, does the it matter order? I think you meant to say does the order matter? I think that was your question. Well, you're first gonna have the more broader opinion and then the more specific one. Usually, we're only going to have one opinion adjective, but if there are more of them, first the more general one and then the more specific adjective of opinion. I don't know if we're going to have any examples here, but there is the lesson on my YouTube channel, one live stream I did with a girl called Pinar, so you can check that out. We also have the highlight from that video. It is titled, I taught her the secret rule made of Zeus, something like that. So check it out on my YouTube page. Guys, great job. You got A correct. Nice old leather. So the age will come before the material. Old could be subjective. No, old is another. Well, I do agree that it is subjective to an extent, but we do count old as one of those adjectives that describe a fact. So when we talk about the age of something, that's the category that old belongs to. So old will definitely always come after the adjectives of opinion. Keep that in mind. Great job, folks. Do you guys wear leather? Some people boycott it as they have concerns over its, you know, whether it is something that is morally acceptable or not. Personally, I don't wear any leather, but I don't judge the people who do. So, do you guys wear leather? Let me know. Welcome, British. I hope you'll enjoy the stream. Let's move on to question 9. They found a blank vase in the attic. A, blue tiny Chinese. B, Chinese tiny blue. C, tiny blue Chinese. D, tiny Chinese blue. Okay, a lot of different Chinese options. Where should it go though? Katie says C. Do you have a tiny blue Chinese vase in the attic, Katie? But you said C. I'm not sure if it is for this one or the previous one. Felipe said C too. Magdalena went for C as well. Dan said B. Yatsa says C. And Radosev goes for B. Okay. We have a mixture of opinions again. Let's see who was right then, shall we? The moment of truth is around the corner. It is going to be C. Why? Again, tiny is the size, blue is the color, Chinese is the origin. There is a table. Like I said, you can go to my YouTube video and check it out. I won't be showing it here as we still have 20 more questions to go, but it is something you have to really memorize. What's important to remember is there are exceptions to this rule, obviously. How could English work without any exceptions? But I think I've also explained those in the video. So check out the video. Like I said, the title is I Taught Her the Secret English Rule, something along the lines of that. Just go to my YouTube channel and you'll see it after this stream, obviously. Don't go now. Now stay here and let's play more. Question 10. I really enjoy blank to music when I go for a walk. That's not me. I like having the peace of mind when I go outside. I enjoy to listen. I enjoy listen. I enjoy listen, or I enjoy listening. I got a blue Japanese vase before. When you say got, do you mean somebody gave it to you in the past? Or did you mean to say you had a vase in the past? Which is the correct meaning? Because this sentence means somebody gave you a blue Japanese vase. As for this question, Felipe says B, Magdalena says D, Radosov says D, and Katie says D. Dayan says B as well. Yatsa goes for D. So we have B and D as options. I can tell you that it is definitely not going to be B. We use bare infinitives after modal verbs. For example, I would like, I would like. We don't say I would to like or I would liking. But after most other verbs, we're going to either have the full infinitive or the gerund. In the case of enjoy, it is going to be gerund. So enjoy is one of the verbs that is mostly, if not always, followed by a gerund, a verb ing. So I enjoy playing, I enjoy watching, I enjoy streaming for my lovely community. I changed the yes. It was the late change, but we will accept it. I bought it in a charity shop in Northern Ireland. Oh, lovely. So you got it, and it is now inside your home. Perfect. Please remember blank the door when you leave the house. Should you remember lock, locking, to lock, or locked the door? What could be the correct answer here, folks? Katie goes for C. All right, Katie, you're ready to play. Magdalena goes for C as well. Felipe says C too. Radosov, do you have anything to say here? Dayan goes for C. It seems like it is going to be C, guys. I don't see any other answers being added here. Yes, Radosov confirms it. It is to lock. Remember is one of those verbs that changes the meaning based on whether it is followed by the infinitive or gerund. I remember seeing him in that cafe means I can recall, I have the memory of seeing him there. But remember to do something is a future reminder. So remember to practice. Remember to watch that YouTube video on the adjective order after this stream. He suggested blank a movie after we finished dinner. He suggested to watch, watched, watch, watching. What did this man suggest? Let's see if some of you make a mistake here. Radosov leads the charge and he says C. Katie says A. Okay, we have some different opinions here. Let's see if we have any other opinions. What do you guys think? D, Magdalena and Felipe. Okay, this is a tricky one, it seems. We have 3 Ds, 1 A, 1 C. Guys, let's find out who was right. D, and Radosov corrected himself at the very last moment. Yes, guys, it is going to be D. Suggest is one of the verbs always followed by gerund. So it's going to be he suggested watching, he suggested coming, I suggested. If you use an object following suggest, a pronoun, so for example, I suggested him, then you're going to use the infinitive. I suggested him to go home. But he suggested watching a movie. So suggest, when followed by a verb directly, is going to be followed by a verb ing, by gerund. If there is a pronoun and then a verb, in that case, we use the infinitive. So be careful about those little details. If we had he suggested her, then to watch would be the option. Otherwise, suggest and the gerund verb. The new shopping mall blank next year. What will happen to the shopping mall? I believe this is about the passive voice. Yes. Is built, will be built, has built, was built. What is the correct answer here? B, 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 B. Okay, no doubts here. The new shopping mall will be built next year. And it is true. Perfect. My bicycle blank while I was at the grocery store. What happened to my bike? It was stolen, is stolen, stole, or has stolen. I think these are easy, folks. Let's just quickly answer this. A. My bicycle was stolen. I hope you guys never experienced that in your lives because having your bike stolen is not fun. Fortunately, it has never happened to me. So my bike is still with me. Though nowadays I just drive my car. I don't really ride a bicycle anymore. That's why I've gained weight. The report must blank by Friday afternoon. The report must finish, is finished, be finished. The report must finished. I could imagine a person saying that, but that person would not be a very fluent English speaker, would they? Because then our actual correct answer would not stand. Magdalena says D. Radosov says D. Do Katie and Felipe have anything else to say? No. Everybody thinks it's D. Maybe we're all mistaken. Guess not. Great job, guys. We're over the half-point mark. So we have 14 questions left. This is the blank chapter of the book. There is only one more after it. All right, we're talking about some vocabulary we've had in recent streams. Penultimate, primary, ultimate, concluding. Remember, this is not ultimate, it is ultimate, ultimate. The UL cluster is ultra. Did we get any answers? Felipe says A, Magdalena says A, Radosov says A. Katie, do you have any other opinions? Maybe it should be ultimate chapter or the concluding chapter. Do we have any other opinions, guys? Let me know. Yatsa says it is A2. So I guess it's safe to say A will be our final answer. Guys, did you get it right? Let's see. Katie says D. Perfect. I'm very happy you said D because it means I need to explain something, and if I like something, that is explaining things to people. So the penultimate chapter, it's a word we learned either yesterday or 3 days ago. It means it is second to last, just before the final one. The concluding chapter of the book, conclusion is the end. It is something that presents the final part of the story. So the concluding chapter would be the final chapter of the book. The ultimate chapter of the book would mean the same. Penultimate is the one, there is only one more after it. So this is the hint that penultimate is the correct answer. The police are still trying to find the blank who broke the store window. Who did that? An assassin, a victim, a culprit, or a witness? Who broke the store window? Not something you should do. If they did it for no reason, then such an act would be considered as vandalism. So vandalism is the destruction of public property for no higher reason. But if they broke the store window and stole the items, especially if it was a high value store like a jewelry store, then we would consider that a burglary. So when you break into some space that is not yours, when you enter it illegally and you steal the things from that place, then you have committed a burglary. You are a burglar. But if you do it for no reason, you just break the window because you felt like it, you were maybe drunk, then you're a vandal. People are saying C. Many C's in the chat. I hope those C's will be replaced by W's at the end of this, because if you all got it wrong, it would mean I'm doing something wrong. But no, you guys are listening carefully. Great job, folks. W's for you all. Question 18. Please submit your assignment by Friday blank, at the latest, at the end, at least, at the longest. What could be the correct answer here? What is the expression we use to talk about the final time, the deadline, the ultimate deadline, something that should not be pushed beyond that mark? What would be the answer? Katie says A. All right. Do others think differently? Jada says A. Radosov says A. Magdalena says B. Okay. Yatsa says A. We only have one differing opinion, so let's assume it is going to be A. Is that the case? It is. At the latest. That is the expression we use to say something is no later than. So that is the final deadline. At the end, it will be used in stories to conclude. So at the end, or at physical locations. At the end of this road, you will see a bakery at the end of this road. Sorry. Of course, mistakes happen to all of us. Thank you for giving me the chance to explain something, Magdalena. I think you did it intentionally. It was an intentional mistake. I need to call my boss and tell her I am blank because of the traffic. I'm running short, running out, running late, or running down. They all exist. All of these expressions exist, but they mean different things. Which one of them means you're not going to be somewhere on time? That is the question we have here. Is it running short, running late, running down, or running out? Felipe says, I don't know, C. Ha. Huh. Maybe you got lucky, Felipe. Maybe not. Magdalena says, C. Perhaps she just followed Felipe and decided to gamble on his luck. Radosov says C. Okay, now it is looking more likely that Felipe got lucky. Yasa pretty much confirms it. Jada says zdravo. It means hello in Serbian. But guys, try to keep the chat English only. Just for late, not lucky. Okay. So it's not about luck, but you are convinced it should be late. Then there is no point in delaying it. You were right. C is the correct answer. With the economy slowing down, a crisis seems to blank, stand in the way, fall through the cracks, hide in the shadows, loom on the horizon. Again, something from my grandma video, my journey with her. If you've seen that video, you'll know the answer to this one. A crisis seems to stand in the way, exists, hide in the shadows, exists, fall through the cracks, exists, loom on the horizon, exists. They are all English phrases, but which one of them means that a crisis seems likely to happen? It is about to happen. It is coming. Which one of them means just that? When something looks very certain, and it's usually something bad, some trouble. We can say trouble. What does trouble collocate with? Radosov says B. Magdalena says D. Felipe says, I don't know. Explain all, please. Okay, perfect. Is it my birthday, Felipe? You know I love doing that. But let's hear some other opinions, folks. Do we have any other takes on this? I'd like to see more before we reveal the correct answer. Okay. C, D, D, D. Okay, we have different opinions. So, should I first reveal the correct answer? I guess I should, so we just know where we are standing. It is D. So, congratulations, Magdalena. I know you've seen my video, so good job. Good job. That's what happens when you watch Marco Lingo videos regularly. Loom on the horizon is the correct answer. Stand in the way is an expression that means something is an obstacle. For example, uh, let's say I want to buy a house, and I could say, I would love to buy a house in Chile, but $1 million price tag stands in my way. So I can't buy the house because this price is blocking me. Or if there, for example, I have a sister and she's dating a guy, I could go to that guy and say, I'm not going to stand in the way of your love. It means I'm not going to be that obstacle. I'm going to move aside and let you guys do your thing. To stand in the way means to block something. Fall through the cracks means that something is failing. So cracks are the small holes. So when something falls through the cracks, it is going down, it is decreasing. Hide in the shadows means to keep a low profile, to not reveal yourself to the public. So somebody who is living a life without social media, somebody that doesn't go out very often, that person is figuratively hiding in the shadows. And then to loom on the horizon, it means that something is out there. Like you can see that it's coming. It is not there yet, but the horizon is that line beyond which you cannot see. It's where the sky and the land connect. So you can see that on the horizon there is something coming, usually bad, and that's why a crisis seems to loom on the horizon. When the economy slows down, a crisis is coming. Like we can sense it. I hope that was clear, Felipe. If you have any questions, as well as other folks, Katie, Jada, Dayan, Radosov, if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope my explanation was coherent enough. Unfortunately, the old bookstore had to blank because it wasn't making any money. Did it have to break down, turn down, close down, or take down? Again, something tricky. Those phrasal verbs are no one's favorite. W's for Marco Lingo. Thank you so much, Jada. Amen to that. I hope those are well deserved. Thanks for the explanation. You're welcome, Felipe. De nada, right? That's how you say you're welcome in Spanish. De nada. I hope my pronunciation wasn't horrible. But with my lovely viewers from all over the world, I think I'm on a journey to become a polyglot. Maybe not a full on polyglot, but someone that is able to say hello, thank you, yes, in many different languages. A mini polyglot, so to say. Radosov says B, turn down. Okay. Do we have any other answers? This is why you have to watch the streams regularly, guys. I try to go live every day at 9 p.m. So the same time as I started today. And we're always gonna do something useful. Just being there, listening to the conversation will definitely benefit you. So make sure you stay tuned. And obviously, you should watch my long form videos because they're really packed with information. Magdalena goes for C. It was perfect. I will be absent for 20 minutes. I have to, I believe, go now. Perfect, Felipe. I don't know if we're gonna be done in 20 minutes. If not, we'll be glad to welcome you back. See, well, since Felipe is going, we can just confirm that he was indeed right. Close down is the correct answer. Close down means to stop operating, usually forever. So when the store closes down, they are out of business and they are not gonna come back. Or they might in the future, but at least for the time being, they're closed. They're not just gonna open 2 weeks later. It's usually due to financial issues, not being profitable. During our vacation, we love to blank through the narrow streets of the old town. Rush, wander, march, wonder. It's a tough one, the difference between B and D, wander and wonder. Do you guys know what the difference is? We'll see. Radosov says B. Okay, Radosov. Does anybody have other opinions? You think it's wander and not wonder. Magdalena thinks it's B2. Okay, Magdalena. Does anybody else have an opinion to share? It is not going to be rush. It is not going to be march. You don't really march through the narrow streets of the old town unless you're a medieval soldier. Maybe then you're going to march. Yatza says B, Dan says D. Okay, we have 3 Bs. That's more than enough for me to reveal the answer. And the outcome is that you were correct, guys. Great job. Wander. To wander means to walk slowly without a particular destination, a particular goal. You are just going around. Wonder is to ask yourself something, or it could mean the world wonder, which means something amazing. So it has a different meaning. We're not going to focus on wonder here. We're talking about wander, wander. Okay, he bought a beautiful wooden blank of a bear from the local market. What could it be? A beautiful sketch, painting, carving, or drawing. Something with wood. You have to think about what we can do to wood, especially when it's described as wooden. Do we have wooden drawings? Is that a thing? Or a wooden sketch? Maybe a wooden carving? Or perhaps painting would be the best choice. What do you guys think? I'll be waiting for your answers. Magdalena says C, carving. Radosov agrees with her. Does anybody disagree with them? Or do you all believe Magdalena and Radosov? They've been our most consistent players tonight. Great job, folks. I don't think anybody is going to disagree, so we can reveal the answer. And your answer was correct. Carving. So when we have wood and we cut out pieces of it and we make sure that there is a dent, so the artwork is inside of a structure, then it is a carving. For our camping trip, I packed a blank so I wouldn't need to bring both a spoon and a fork. Now, what could be the answer here? Did I pack a grater, a spork, a sieve, or a skillet? What did I pack so I wouldn't have to bring my spoon and a fork? It is an object that combines the two. It is also a neologism, so a newly created word that did not used to exist in the past. We could call it a modern day invention. So what did people invent? I mean, to be fair, we invented all of them, but one of them is noticeably younger than its counterparts. So what could it be? Radosov thinks it's a spork. Okay, Radosov, let's see if you were right. Magdalena agrees and says it is B. Since you two are our lead players, we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna check if your answer was correct. It indeed was. So a spork gets its name from the combination, the blend of spoon and fork. Perfect. Question number 25. When you go to the supermarket, grab a blank so we can carry all these groceries. What do you grab? Now, to be fair, I mean, I created this question, but I see that there is a problem in it. It is ambiguous. It is not completely clear. To be fair, there are basically three possible. I mean, four. You could use all of them if we're being honest. Now, when we say all these groceries, we can assume that there are lots of groceries. Like, we're not talking about a small number. We're talking about a really big amount of groceries. So if we're having to deal with a lot of groceries, not just a couple of items, but many of them, which one would be the most correct answer? B or A? B? Yes, guys. Not the best question from my side, but it should be B. Yeah, all of the above. All of the above, basically. Well, obviously, you're not going to bring a box for the most part. A bag is usually something you use after your purchase, though it is completely legal to carry the bag with you and put the groceries there before paying. The basket is the handheld one. So it is usually for the smaller purchases. And then if you have a large shopping, then you're going to use a cart. So yes, a cart or a trolley in British English. I got this jacket for half its original price. It was a real what? Ripoff, expense, luxury, bargain. Oof, I basically stopped it too late. You can already see the answer. But I think that you guys would have known the answer either way. I'm pretty sure that you know what it is. If you did not, then you can pretty much see the correct answer. And it is, yes, the bargain. I believe you just saw the option and immediately knew it. Yes, bargain. All the other ones imply something either really expensive or something that wasn't worth the price. So luxury and expense, I mean, expense is neutral. Expense just means spending money. It is something that takes the money out of your pocket and bank account. There's no positive or negative connotation, though it's usually more negative because you don't want expenses, you want income. Luxury, obviously something that is not necessary, but it is expensive and perhaps give you some status. A ripoff, something that was usually expensive and not worth the money. It could be something cheap and still not worth the money, but for the most part, it is going to be something expensive that you regret buying. A bargain as a noun is a really good deal. As a verb, it means the informal negotiation about the price, trying to lower or increase the price. Can you pass me the cheese? I want to put some Parmesan on my pasta. Oh, where is Sarah when we need her? We have some Italian themed questions. She would be really happy about it. A, peeler. B, sieve. C, grater. D, whisk. What do we use with the cheese to cut it into smaller pieces? Do we peel it? Do we need a sieve? Do we need a whisk or a grater? Radoslav and Magdalena are just tearing it apart today. CC. Yatsa joins them, and the answer is C, grater. Folks, only 3 more questions to go, I believe. Use a to drain the water from the boiled vegetables. Now, which one of these will you use to drain the water from your vegetables? Now, to be fair, there is another item that would be perhaps an even better fit here, especially for boiled vegetables, and it is a colander. We spoke about that in the previous class. Sieve, absolutely. Many people will call that a sieve, but as a teacher, it is my duty to point out a colander would have been perhaps an even better choice. Colander. Colander. So the colander is the large one with large holes for draining water, and the sieve will mostly be used for, yes, colander, great job, Magdalena. A sieve will be used for some flour, for example. If you want to make sure only the fine particles go through, you're going to use a sieve. Now, people often mix them up. It's not the end of the world to call a colander a sieve and vice versa. It is mostly fine, but in order to be precise, they are 2 different utensils for different purposes. For the purpose of this question, C, sieve. Climbing Mount Everest, remember that, no article in front of the name of single mountains. Climbing Mount Everest is considered the blank challenge for many mountaineers. What kind of a challenge? Penultimate, average, minor, or ultimate challenge for many mountaineers? What kind of a challenge is it? I'd say that it is hopefully not the penultimate one. And I don't think it is an average challenge because climbing that mountain, I'm sure it requires a lot of effort, preparation, and maybe even luck to an extent because it's not easy getting to the top. I've never done any mountain climbing, so I cannot imagine how hard it must be. Radosov says D, Magdalena says D as well. And you folks, like I said, you are on fire today. You deserve big W's for that. Perfect. And the final question, we have come to the end of the road. One great blank of this job is that we get free gym memberships. That is something nice to have. And what is it? One great salary, one great perk, one great duty, or one great task? What would a free gym membership be? I mean, to some people, it could be a duty, though, of course, it is not mandatory. But I'm sure not everyone would be happy about this. Maybe they would prefer some trips, some holidays from the company. Magdalena says B, and let's wait for Radosov if he is here to talk about this. Radosov says D. Oh, perfect. So we're going to end the stream with a little doubt. What are the others going to say? B or D, folks? Which answer is correct? Let's see. Yatsa, Dayan, Jada, Sarah, Katie, whoever is still watching. let us know. Or maybe Radosov. Radosov is going to correct himself. And Dayan says B2. Yes, perfect, guys. It is going to be perk. Perks are the benefits, the advantages that the job brings, not something that you have to do. So a task would be something that you are not happy about, you don't want to do, and unfortunately you are assigned because your boss said so. Perks are the benefits. So one of the perks of being a Marcolingo student, so to say, is that you always have the chance to come on the stream and practice live, just like Magdalena did last night. So Radosov, if that's something you'd be interested in, please come along. You can message me on Instagram or send me an email at marcolingo.contact@gmail.com. And it'd be great to have you as a live student as well. Big W's for everyone who participated today. Radosov, Magdalena, Jada, Katie, Felipe, Yatsa, Dayan, Lazar, all of you guys deserve a huge W. Thank you so much for being great students and for paying attention to what I'm doing, to what I'm creating, because many of those things were an essential part of my videos that I've done in recent weeks. So if you attend the streams regularly, if you watch the long form videos multiple times, I'm sure it will be very beneficial to your English and simply being part of this lovely community whose name I tend to forget because it is in Spanish. We somehow chose the name of the community, it being something in Spanish. What was it? Armando, Magdalena, please help me. I forgot the name. I forgot the name. Put down your email, please. All right. I'll write the email down for you. It is marcolingo.contact@gmail.com. This is my email, so you can contact me over there, Radosov. Thank you so much for being here with us. Guys, if you have any final questions, please let me know now. I'll be here for another 2 to 3 minutes to answer any questions you might have, and then we'll call it a day. Remember the idiom, call it a day, and work for that particular day. It is time to rest. Hermosa Comunidad. That's right. We are the beloved Hermosa Comunidad. Yes. So, guys, once again, if there are any questions, I'm waiting for them. And if not, just tell me, no questions, Marco. Let us go to sleep. Well, some of you, Radosov perhaps. Magdalena, it is only the beginning of the day for you, so you'll have to work a bit more before you're finally free. Still waiting for the final questions, guys. I can see you are sending many confetti and hearts, but I haven't gotten any questions. So perhaps your silence means that you understood everything. See you next time. Do widzenia. Oh, yes, that's right. It's the same in Serbian. We also say do widzenia. Wow. I'm happy to have a fellow Slavic speaker here. There are many Spanish speakers whom I love, obviously. Big love to all the Chileans, Mexicans, not Brazilians, they're Portuguese speakers. I shouldn't insult them, but Argentinians and so on. But obviously, as a fellow Slav, my heart is just warmer when I see Do widzenia. Hello. Oh, Amina, you are late to the party. We are already saying goodbye. But thank you for coming. And Amina, come again tomorrow at 9. We'll talk to you more that time. Until then, folks, have a good night in Europe and have a great afternoon in the Americas.